Now let's talk about a case when two vectors are perpendicular to each other. When two vectors are perpendicular to each other, it means the angles between the vectors is 90 degrees. So we are going to consider an example on that. We have two vectors and the angle between the two vectors is 90 degrees. So I'm just going to put this here to show that the angle is 90 degrees. So assuming one of the vectors is, let's say, 12 Newton, and the other one is, let's say, 5 Newton. Now, this is not drawn to scale. If you are asked to look for the resultant vector will be the hypotenuse or the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle formed when you draw a line like this that I'm about to draw right now. Now, that is the resultant vector. So I can just put this to show the direction of the resultant vector. Okay, then to get the final direction of the resultant vector, I will have to look for the angle the resultant vector R forms with either the 5 Newton vector or the 12 Newton vector. So how do we go about getting the resultant vector? This is a right angle triangle, so you can just use your Pythagoras theorem. If you use your Pythagoras theorem, you are going to be having the resultant vector squared is equals to 5 Newton squared plus 12 Newton squared. Then if you continue, you are going to be getting 25 Newton square plus 144 Newton square. Then R square will be, if you do 25 plus 144, you are going to get 169. Now Newton square. So the resultant vector will be the square root of 169 Newton square, and you are going to get 13 Newton. So our resultant vector from this question is 13 Newton. If I want to get the direction of the resultant vector, I can look for the angle it makes with either the 5 Newton vector or the 12 Newton vector. Any one you choose will be fine. So I'm just going to take the angle it makes with the 12 Newton vector. So I'm going to do this. I'll put it here. So to find this angle, I can just simply do tan theta is equals to 5 Newton over 12 Newton. Remember, tan is opposite over adjacent. So Newton will cancel Newton. From here, you can now say theta will be equals to arctan 5 over 12. And if you do arctan 5 over 12 with your calculator, you are going to get 23 degrees to the nearest degree. So the magnitude of the resultant vector is 13 Newton, and it makes an angle of 23 degrees with the 12 Newton vector. I hope you understand. Now, what about if the angle between the two vectors is not 90 degrees? What if it is any other angle? How do you go about it? We are going to talk about parallelogram law of vector addition. Let's talk about it.